Well, hello, everyone. This is Evolve and Always Productions. My name is Terry Lynn, and my mission here is to help people to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. And, we have guests that usually can help us in one or two areas. I feel like we have a guest that probably can help us in all of those areas today. His name is Joseph Kim. He is phenomenal. I mean, seriously, I met him on Clubhouse. And I like to characterize him, and apparently I'm not the only one, as a big ball of energy. He is. He's very motivational, very kind, very polite, and he's very next level, meaning highly intelligent. We'll talk about that in a second. There's something about him that I know that he doesn't know that I know. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, I'm just glad to have him on. I do have the information for Joseph. I highly recommend that you follow him on Instagram. He has a lot of great photos, but the important part of his Instagram is actually to read the captions. He has very great insight in so many things. So read the captions. That's really the joy of his Instagram, is the captions, but he has really great photos as well. So, it's a win-win situation all around. So hello, the main hanger. Hello, the fitness truck guy. That's my husband. And of course, as always, we also put this on our podcast. So I'm just really glad that Joseph decided to join, and we're going to chat with him, learn some great information, and have a little fun too at the same time, because that's what we're about. Okay. So Joseph, so how long have you been on Clubhouse? Because that's how we met, obviously.
Wow. Terry Lynn, I've been on Clubhouse for about almost 3 months now.
Oh, okay. So that was, okay. You basically started in January then. Is that right? Or did I do that incorrectly?
Yeah, actually, I've heard about Clubhouse from last year, but I actually was traveling because I was working in the medical field. And so I didn't have time to go on doing too much posting or just keeping up. But I did read about it. I did get an invitation, but I just couldn't accept it. So, but I started using Clubhouse back in January. It's been great.
Okay. Awesome. So the main hanger, I'm actually making you a moderator. So if you have anything like YouTube or whatever, feel free to share it. You can actually share your link. I appreciate you joining. You're now a moderator. It should show up in a second when you make a comment. Thanks for joining. So, I just love, and hey, Kafia, how are you doing? Thanks for joining as well. I need to make her a moderator too. So you are a moderator as well. So if you want to add anything in a link that's clickable, feel free to do that. Thanks for joining. So basically, you traveled to 44 states in the last 18 months. And I know you said you collected hotel keys, because I am bad about turning in hotel keys as well. So tell me, what was the reason for all the traveling? What happened with that?
Wow. I actually didn't even ask for it. It was just an opportunity where you could just travel. And it was actually all for marketing, where something that we missed out on with COVID, but having events, setting up events, putting the plans together, and just seeing how it works. And it was just getting feedback in different places. And so I was sent all over the country to get feedback, get some perspective. And from that point, I just started keeping a little bit of a mental list of all the places I want to come back to. So sometimes I didn't stay in certain states long, but I just wanted to come back and visit. And so if you see me in maybe not work clothes, I guess, if I'm not wearing Dickies pants and wearing gloves and a backpack, then I'm pretty much not working. And it was me taking another side trip to go back. So it's been a lot of fun. It was an unexpected blessing that came, and I just ran with it.
Well, that's what you do when something's an unexpected blessing and you run with it. That's the best, right? It's so good to do that. I absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's what it's about. And then I'm going to kind of go off base now. You actually went to college, and I want to say it was on a football scholarship? Yeah,
no,
it was right. Division I, correct?
Well, okay. So I actually, this is a weird story. So I actually had football scholarships to play at the U. So University of Miami, University of Washington, and University of Missouri. So 3 Division I colleges offered it, Wait, but I wanted to accept it, but my parents had access to my letters from the coaches, from the head coaches and the recruiters, ripped all three letters up, and I had no scholarship to go play college football. So I actually was close to playing college football to play special teams as a kick returner. And surprisingly enough, if you actually try to find out what my height is, field goal block team, because you're supposed to either jump over the lineman or you're supposed to go around it. They thought I was going to jump over the lineman. I think I'm about half the height of a typical offensive lineman in football. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to figure that out, but it's okay. It was, I think it was.
Well,
nice.
you got a good jump on you though. If you go to his Instagram, you'll see what I mean. He's got some jump game. So I don't know. You might have been able to do it. Definitely. And I'm pretty sure you are a great kicker too. So that was part of like one of the things that you've been. That's funny that I could see your parents doing that. So what did you end up majoring in, and what college did you end up going to?
So that was another funny story. So I ended up being accepted to Georgia Tech, and I was supposed to go into school for electrical and computer engineering. I actually got kicked out of that school. I haven't really told the story to many people, so that's an unknown fact. I actually got kicked out of college. I would say the third week of school, I got kicked out of college because no, it was actually worth it. There's a happy medium around this to where we're at. So cool. I actually had challenged my professors in each of my classes, and it offended them based on the question that I asked. And so with that, they updated the profile, I guess our profile in school, and it said that I'm suspended indefinitely. And actually that was back in 2004, and I'm still indefinitely suspended from that school. So I'll never go back to the school. So, but about 3 years ago, I ended up getting my degree at Utah State University. So, and I think they're the Wolves. So go Wolves. So Utah State, I got my degree. So I made up for the lost time, I guess.
I love it though. And like you said, people seem to forget that no matter how bad things can be, sometimes there is always something good out of it. And I'm glad that you have that mentality. I see that in you, so I can totally relate. Now, you were a competitive eater. So talk to us about that.
Oh my goodness. That was probably, I don't know if you want to call it a phase, but it was a darn good phase. It was something where, I don't know, when I would eat, I would actually eat a lot. And actually another known fact is I had one time ate 2 extra large pies, like pizzas, all in one sitting, under an hour. So from that, I had some friends catch on, like, okay, you want to have my food? And so I was eating my friends' food that I prepared for them. And my brother was actually working at a sushi restaurant and told me that, hey, you might want to compete in this. I think you can win like $100. And I said, I'm in. What else am I going to get? It's like, don't worry about it. Can you eat sushi really fast? And so I had to go through the training, because you can't just go into a contest hungry, because you're eating well above your capacity, or your capacity times 10%, or whatever the percentage is. And so my first competition was a California roll sushi eating contest, and I came in second place, but I did train for about 3 months prior to that. The person who beat me, I think he has currently 55 world records in eating. And
oh my God.
I didn't stand a chance with Dale Boone. So Dale Boone, if you're ever out there, you're my arch nemesis, but I respect you because he taught me a lot about other things. So I competed and ate quite a bit, but I did retire briefly. I mean, and I retired for good several years ago. So, because not good for your stomach at all.
Yeah, I was saying, and you know what's so incredible to me, Joseph, and maybe you can enlighten me on this. I've noticed that most people that do really well in this, I guess, that industry, I don't know if you call it that or not, they're always very compact people. So I always try to figure that out. What's the premise to that? Is there a rhyme to that or something? I don't know. Do you know, or?
No, it's pretty much in the training.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the size. Although we do have really, really small people who compete, and you would be amazed on where the food goes after they digest it. It's like, where did it go? It didn't help you grow at all. You look like you're a little short there, and what happened to it? And I I think if you don't train properly, like anything else, you actually could get hurt. Like your digestive system could fail if you don't train properly and if you actually don't compete properly. That's why they have big jugs of water. It's not for you just to drink. It's actually for you to dip the food, because eating contests are not glamorous, enjoyable. The food doesn't taste good. It's how much food can you shove inside your mouth and have it go down your stomach as quick as possible before the timer goes, and before, if you might puke, before you puke, and you're supposed to hold it in. So it's the training makes it worth it, and we've seen the flip side where it didn't fare very, very well for those who might be really big in stature but thought, let me just fast and stay hungry, but no, your stomach shrinks. And so
it sure does. It sure does. That is a fact. And yeah, and that's the thing, because a lot of people that I see, when I say compact, I mean like you're slim, if you know what I mean. You're in shape. And I've seen a lot of people that were like that were competitive. And I always wondered about it, and like you say, you do see people in different sizes. I have seen that as well, but it seems like the ones that always win are the ones that seem to be in pretty good shape. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, it's probably, it's probably not too healthy doing that for sure. Because then I was thinking it would make your stomach expand and you want to eat more, but that doesn't necessarily happen. Or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, since you have water involved, water does expand your stomach a little bit. So you're incorporating it with the food. And if you do want an expanded stomach, because then you want a lot of the food to settle. But I would say the aftermath of the contest, just be ready, because what I think they call it garbage in, garbage out, especially if the
makes sense. Makes sense.
You can look that up on Google.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's totally. I think that's a great way that you put it, for sure. So you have spoke to audience sizes up to 15,000 people. So tell me about that. What were you doing when you did that?
So actually, my speaking day started from a school play, and I actually spoke with 100 kids. It was a play where I was a reporter and also the narrator. So I had to narrate, I would say, more than half of the play. Then I got out on stage. I think my stage fright disappeared, and this was in 4th grade. So I actually had a lapel mic. I didn't know what those were called. And so I got to use my hands, because a teacher told me one time that your hands kind of captivate the audience. And
that's true.
But yeah, I really never practiced at Toastmasters. I did one Toastmasters and I won an award, and they told me not to come back to learn public speaking because you got it down. I'm like, no, I'm here to connect with you guys and like encourage you guys. They said, we'll see you in the future down the road. I said, okay, fine.
They actually told you to leave? That's crazy. Because that is a good thing to do. Oh my gosh. But you are great at public speaking. I can see that, but I'm just surprised they would turn you away. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So I actually had invitations to speak at various leadership conferences, and this was either accomplishments in the community, or if it was actually helping somebody reach a financial goal, just certain topics that said, you know what, we want this guy. And I think the introduction from that was based on doing production work. So I was actually the camera guy that held the big camcorders that were probably as long as my whole torso, and you're just carrying this 50 pound machine.
Yeah,
they're heavy, and there's cables. I'm like, what are these? And so but with that, I was able to pan into the speaker, but then backstage I actually had hyped up a couple of the speakers that were speaking for the first time and gave them a nice little pep talk, and then the opening came when they needed somebody to fill in. And so with that, they said, you go up. I want you to just speak about anything. And we hope that you don't mess up. I'm like, okay.
Right.
From there, I actually blanked out, meaning I didn't remember what I said, but words came out, because when I came back to reality, I think there was probably about 1,000 people there. It was a pretty small audience. And I just heard the roars of applause, like, I don't know what I said. I hope I'm not going off stage to answer any questions. I do not know anything. But the 15,000, it was in Richmond, Virginia, and that was actually for an accomplishment in the community, helping a certain number of people hit their goals. And so I got a nice segment and a pretty nice. It was a really good audience, because I think when you go to leadership conferences that might be more on the intermediate stage, those that might be working for a company that sponsored this particular conference, you kind of sense that the audience is it's very encouraging, and so you don't feel that there's somebody like a heckler that's going to like jeer at you or throw anything at you. But it was really encouraging, and they just literally stopped everything, because when you look out from the stage to the audience, you barely can see, but you can kind of see if somebody's not paying attention and would be walking to get a hot dog. But nobody got a hot dog. Nobody went to the bathroom. And when somebody coughed, I think I heard like a slap on the leg, like, stop making noise. And so that's what I was thinking, but I knew what I was talking, like what my message was. And so, but yeah, I really don't demand a stage, but when they invite me to the stage to talk, I'll share. And it's really interesting when you speak to larger crowds, because you're not so concerned about how to warm the audience if it's such a large crowd. But now if you're an open speaker and you open a conference, yes, you set the tone. Smaller crowds, yes, you want to set the tone and read your audience, because you have probably better vision seeing a smaller crowd, especially because it's more well lit. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna say something really quick to the audience. I want to, welcome some people that came in. Tasha, thank you for coming. Sandra, thank you for coming. Quimby, thank you for coming. All of y'all are moderators, so if there's anything that's going on, any events that you have happening, if you got YouTubes, and I know, obviously the Grateful Queen definitely has one. She has an amazing YouTube. But anything that you want to add, you can actually click it in, because you're moderators and people can click on it and subscribe or just whatever. I want y'all to, feel free to do this. I'm glad y'all joined. This is an amazing individual we have, Joseph. He's going to be really sharing some really great information. So I'm still asking some questions. There's a particular person I was looking for, and they may not join, but I'm still going to bring that up, just so I know you're like, what is it? What is it? But anyway, so that's awesome. So, you adopted a dog after saving him from being eaten whole. So talk to me about that. What happened with that?
Wow. So he was an angel sent from above. And so I was in Kentucky, and I think I was let's see, what was I age-wise? Because he was already 1 or 2 years old. He was a very still a puppy. He was a Yorkie. He was a mixed breed.
Oh, okay.
And some other, because he weighed close to 30 pounds at his size, and was as fluffy, and it's still I think the tendencies of a Yorkie, of him running his mouth, was something that he always did. I'm like, you don't have to always speak up, and kind of like snorted at me and ran off. But this was in Kentucky, and I was actually with a family. And then I actually ended up meeting with my cousins and my aunt. And so it was a pretty big outing. I believe it was, I'm trying to think where the gold, near Fort Knox is where we were at. And so I actually ran away. So I literally ran off, went on my own adventure, and I ended up at a Food Lion. And so I found this lady in a Firebird, this black Firebird. She was the manager of this Food Lion, smoking a cigarette. So I was on an adventure for a couple hours, and my parents were looking for me. No cell phones, because I was a young kid. I think I was 8 years old, so no cell phone. So when we got back, and when my dad actually finished yelling at me, I noticed something really strange. I realized, okay, there's this big dog. It's a chow. And what is this thing hanging out of its mouth? Wait, what's this thing outside of its mouth? And I don't know, my 8-year-old brain, I don't know what happened, but I kind of like ran and stopped and kind of walked, and I was awkward. I was kind of doing like this penguin type of walk, like, okay, this can't be happening. And then I opened the screen door, slid it open. I'm like, there's a mouth in that there's a head in that mouth. Oh no. And so with that, I proceeded to, and I'm left-footed, so I proceeded to kick the chow. This chow weighs about 85 pounds. Kicked it in its ribs and kicked it in its stomach. I tried to just kick it until the chow would open its mouth to spit out this precious little dog that was
Oh,
neck deep.
God.
And of course,
Mm.
the chow released, the dog's name is Sly. So Mr. Sly, away from the clutches. And so with that, Mr. Sly ran to a corner of the backyard. And this happened in the backyard. And I proceeded to chase after the chow, and I had a rock in my hand. And so I wanted to throw the rock at the chow and like say, "You're done. I don't care what you did. You're going to pay for what you did." But the chow somehow did this. I don't know. Dogs are very elusive around the swing set. There was a swing set, and I tripped over the swing set. I'm 8 years old, so I didn't really pay attention. But then I ran to Mr. Sly and picked him up, and of course he's got like bite marks on its neck, and I just wanted like I try to like calm it down because it tried to like just escape, and I grasp it and I clutched a little tight, and I said, "It's okay," and I just started petting him. I said, "It's okay," and I saw the bite marks. I said, "Okay, we need to go and get this fixed, and we got to see if the chow actually has rabies." And so it was a weird, funny process. And so it was probably about 6 months later. I believe it was my cousins that actually had ownership of Sly. They came into town, visited, and Sly would not give attention to anybody except me. So whenever I would go outside, Sly would actually try to just sneak out. That's how he got his name. He likes to sneak through everything. And we actually played, and he typically needed a collar and a leash, but with me, he didn't need it. I said, "Hey, come here, come here." I didn't even know his name. I just, "Come here," because I thought Sly was like a nickname. Now I got to name you something better. But from that point, I think with animals, I think if you save an animal's life, if you ever get to see the beauty of loyalty, like just switch over just like that. And for 16 and a half years, we had the time of our lives. We went through places, took road trips together. We ran off, and actually we didn't run away, but we ran and went on various adventures. He had these little, since he had a lot of hair, he picked up a couple like dandelions on his hair, and just other things from the weeds and stuff. And so we'd come back dirty at the same time, and says, "All right, you both have to take a shower." He runs off and runs away again. And so it's kind of what you get. And but yeah, a loyal friend. I was very thankful that I was able to. I didn't even have any thoughts of owning a dog, but I just said, "Look, Mom and Dad, I want to be responsible, and I want to see if I can take care of him." And they said, "No, you need to know, will you take care of Mr. Sly, because he is a responsibility, and he's going to be like children to you. So you need to take care of him like a child." And so
that's true. He's your fur baby.
Yes. So 16 and a half years, he lived a great life. And
thanks to you.
Oh no, his energy. If you think I had the energy, I think my inspiration came from my dog, because a Yorkie typically doesn't jump. But when I come home, he jumps. I think at the time I was 4 foot tall. So he would jump 3 feet up. I don't know how he would jump so high and like give you kind of like a high five push off your chest. So it was a really cool moment. And I never really had him sleep on a bed. So I said, "Hey, you're small, and you can." And he the thing about Yorkies are actually very, very prone to sleeping by your feet. I don't know if other breeds do this, but to keep your feet warm. So
that's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. So look, I'm gonna make everybody laugh at me. Deneen, I was trying to say that you are now a moderator, so I made a new word, modester. Not sure what that word is. But I was trying to say you're a moderator, Deneen. So if you have any events, you can actually attach the link now because of that. But I'm glad you're here, Deneen, because Deneen is witness to this thing I'm about to mention right now. And I just was like, what is it? What is it? But do you remember when you were in Clubhouse in a Poshmark club and you were talking to Jennifer and Rocky and Deneen and some other people? And I was in that room as well. Do you remember that night?
I think that was a Friday night, I believe.
Yeah, it was a Friday night.
Okay.
So it was a Friday night. It was around, I think it was 11:30 Eastern Standard Time for both of us, because you're on Eastern Standard Time. So I'm listening to, Joseph on this Clubhouse talking some good stuff, which we're really going to get into, by the way. Some of the things, the great things he knows that actually is going to help you with your body. But yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm scrolling on Instagram. And lo and behold, I see somebody's live. And guess who it is that I see? It's live. It's you, Joseph. You were live on Instagram. Right while we were talking on Clubhouse. So I was like, what in the world? So I'm like, click. Of course I clicked on it. I clicked on it and joined. And so I'm like, and a hilarious part about, yeah, Denise's witness to this. I'm so glad that Denise was with me. This was like, me and her literally died on this. So we were like, you're in Clubhouse and you were really, like I said, we're going to talk more about this later, what what Joseph has a lot of knowledge on. But you were on live and you had it blacked out. So I know what you did, but it's just, I was so impressed. I was like, this is really next level stuff. So, because you were talking about something totally different. So we knew you weren't connecting the Clubhouse with your live. Just if anybody thought that, that's not what he was doing. On Clubhouse, he was talking about one thing. On a live, it was something totally different. We was like, and I told Janine, I said, well, Janine, it is official. Joseph he's genius level. So you remember this now, right?
Oh man.
So I pretty much know how you did it, but what gave you the mindset to do that? It was phenomenal. I said I had never seen anybody do that. I said that is like so super smart. But what was your thought? Yeah, definitely next level. I totally agree. Totally agree, Denise. Yes, Lisa.
Wow.
Yes, totally, Lisa. Did I hide your message? Because I was trying to put it up there. Yes. Gosh. I totally agree. It was amazing. So talk us through that, because we were impressed. Just thought I'd let you know. So talk to us about that.
So I know that Clubhouse is still new to a lot of people, and there are like new features that are coming, I'm sure. And I was just thinking, wait a minute. So we're doing this live room, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's got to be a way to expand the audience, because Clubhouse is limited based on who joins Clubhouse. So I said, okay. So if we, of course, did the opposite, then yeah, Instagram Live, you have your audience through Instagram. I said, wait a minute. So if our Instagram is connected in our Clubhouse and people are going to check us out from Clubhouse to Instagram, I said, wait a minute, why don't I just go live with this? Because I know there are people that are not on Clubhouse. And actually, it's funny, after that recording, I'd had people text me and said, oh, I had actually received invites to this thing. I didn't know I thought this was fake. I said, well, the Instagram Live was real, and all the voices, I mean, I don't know how you could choreograph a conversation like this.
No, but actually, though, because me and Denise were listening, you were talking something different on an Instagram Live, because that was the thing we kept doing. We were like, that's what we're amazed. So that's why I thought you recorded that. Yeah, definitely. Hey, welcome, by the way. How are you doing? Deb, welcome. Yeah, so that's why I was like, you must have recorded that, because I was like, you were actually talking something different. You were talking about cold showers. So you were talking about cold showers, but you were like literally talking about something else, because I had them both on. So you were talking about something else. That's why I found it so amazing, because me and Denise was like, that is really amazing. And because you had it in black, I was thinking you had recorded a segment in regards to cold showers. So you didn't record a segment of like cold showers and then put it on live while you were on Clubhouse?
No, because I muted myself, because I know that it's best for you to be attentive to the audience and to the speakers on the stage. Again, that's why I worked with an experiment with the volume on both. And so I did have two devices. So I had a device that had Instagram up, and but there were people in the chat on Instagram Live asking questions. And so from there, we broke that down, and some were cold shower related questions, and others were on becoming a reseller. And so what I did, I actually what I wanted to do was to commentate and be a commentator of a room on Instagram, because I pretty much had repeated, hey, this is a live conversation we're having on Clubhouse. And so I'm thankful that you guys have tuned in, because maybe you have not downloaded Clubhouse yet, or have not been on Clubhouse long enough to follow along and to be able to see these rooms. So I wanted you to get a taste of what it's like to be in a room like this. And so I got the idea from when Bill Gates and Elon Musk and I forget, I think Vanilla Ice was on Clubhouse, and you couldn't get into the rooms because at the time, I think the cap was 5,000 people.
And I think they still have a cap, actually. Now, I don't know what that amount is, to be honest with you. There is still a cap because I tried to join a room not too long ago and I couldn't because it was obviously too many people. I just don't know what the cap is, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And somebody recorded, and you're not supposed to necessarily, the reason why I blacked it out is that I didn't want to have any copyright infringement and actually images of Clubhouse. That's why I actually blacked it out. So I made sure I read the rules here. So, and I did that for the benefit to have others who may not have had best audio. I said, you know what? I'll commentate on this, and this will be like another take. It's like a director's cut type of thing on. So I don't know. It was just a good thing because the audience, they appreciated it, and some of them actually have joined Clubhouse since. So if I can expand the audience as much as possible in different platforms, cross-platforming, I'm all about it.
Yeah, but I wish you could actually hear how it came off, though, and I'm gonna tell you why. It was very, like Deneen said. Deneen gave a really great description of it. It was very next level. Because when me and her heard it, you were talking about a topic, and I didn't record anything, but you were talking about, it's 5,000. Just checking for it. It is 5. Oh, okay, it is 5,000. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you for getting us straight on it. I wanted to answer Quimby's question in a second, which I am, because it's a little bit more detailed. But yeah, it is an iPhone. It is an Apple app. But anyway, what I was getting ready to say is, so you were talking about something, and in the Instagram live, it was a totally different topic. It was still cold showers, don't get me wrong, but it was like something else. So that's why it was so interesting to me, because I was like, my mind was blown as to how you pulled that off. And now the way I'm thinking you pulled it off, you didn't even pull it off the way I thought you pulled it off. So you have still mystified me, which is good. So you're still next level. Genius, for sure. So basically, in answer to your question, Quimby, yeah, you can have an iPhone, but you can also do it on an iPad. It just has to be on an Apple product. So like if you have an Apple product, then you can actually do it on that. So, and then what some people have done, Quimby, is they'll get like a iPhone off of eBay. I think some people get like 7s or 8s off of eBay, and they'll utilize that because, it'll just connect to the Wi-Fi, and that's how they actually access Clubhouse. So, and yeah, you're definitely somebody, Quimby, that should be on Clubhouse because you're phenomenal. And I don't know if you're following her, Joseph, but you need to follow her, the Grateful Queen, because I know you said you're going to be getting into YouTube. She actually has 2 YouTube channels, but she is amazing. She's actually a therapist, but she does reselling as well. And so she has one obvious channel that she does reselling, and it's called The Grateful Queen. And Quimby, definitely drop your YouTube in, because you are a moderator, so drop your link in. So anyway, and then she has one, it's called The Grateful Therapist. But yeah, I highly recommend anybody considering doing YouTube, or they're working on a YouTube and they want to be better, to definitely follow her, because she really does amazing content. And she really does a really great job of presenting herself. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to shoot that out there. She's really amazing. And hello, how you doing, lady? Thanks for joining. So yeah, really next level. It was really interesting, Joseph. So I said I have to ask you about it because it was so interesting how you pulled it off. I said, leave it to Joseph.
Probably something that just came out of me. I don't know. Sometimes when you do just magical things, you just don't. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to explain because you're the one that's doing it, and then you kind of not necessarily forget about it, but you just kind of move on to something else. And if it catches somebody's attention, it's like, okay, I think I still have that recording, so maybe I'll rewatch it. But it's like when things come, it's like situational, and you respond, and it's like, okay, it sounds like as long as it flows pretty well. But so funny, I guess the inner genius comes out of you by default. So
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, if you had heard it on the end that me and Deneen were listening to it on, I don't know if she's still here or not. It was really, really interesting. I'm gonna just let it tell you, because it was two different things going on, and that's why I was like, wow. I said, so is he a clown? That was funny. I knew you weren't a clown, but it was really cool. I was like, wow. Okay, so basically, so you got to tell me this story about fighting off two coyotes in Arizona. Now, what's going on with that?
So the fateful day in December, I think it was December 19th of 2012, and I was actually living in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, and this was a pretty short stay. And there's a mountain about 20 minutes east of Phoenix called Superstition Mountain. And so the thing about the West Coast, the coyotes. Okay, so the coyotes here on the East Coast, I don't know why. I would say almost all of them are pretty timid and scared to humans. They don't do anything crazy. They're just minding their own business. But out in the West Coast, you probably would listen to more news reports of puppies getting kidnapped by coyotes and the coyotes attacking humans.
Right, so, exactly.
You never thought of that. So we finished some work early, and my coworker had his girlfriend flown in from Chicago. So they wanted to spend time, and they said, okay, you what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go climb a mountain. And so it was just spur of the moment. So I went bouldering, and bouldering is basically rock climbing or mountain climbing with no equipment. This is you with t-shirt, shorts, and shoes. And so, and actually that's one of the two NDEs, near-death experiences that happened. Actually, both of them were climbing accidents, but the first one was 2012. And so I'd climbed up to I think it was about 3,000 or 4,000 feet, and I'd fallen. Then I came back up. I didn't realize I landed on a cactus either until you take a shower. You could feel the prickly things. So I landed on a cactus, didn't even know it. And so I got up and climbed again.
Oh my gosh, Joseph. So did you have some of the prickly things still sticking in your skin?
No, I'm feeling around. I think everything is smooth. It's good. I think and I'll tell you, like, taking a cold shower, like a hot to a cold shower, actually had helped do that. So it helped get rid of the pricklies, because it opened up the pores, and then I immediately had them closed. And but yeah, I did have a couple of blemishes, so I had to take a warm shower to open the blemishes up, because I think some of the prickly things from a cactus might still have some kind of, I don't know if it's poison or if it's juice. The actual water. So I don't know, but wanted to make sure I drained that out. But so the second time I fell, I actually was out. It was broad daylight, 1 p.m. But then when I got up, I felt like I resuscitated myself. So I got up, and it was probably sunfall. So it was probably about, I think in December, the sun fell at about 5:30 p.m. And from that, I was already bloodied everywhere, because I'd fallen a second time and scratched my arms. Had a little. I think I might have contracted a concussion, because I had a little blood coming out from the side of my head. Nose was bruised. It was a pretty horrific fall, and the prickly things were causing my leg to bleed. It was my left leg. And so the thing about wild coyotes or wild animals that are carnivores, they can smell blood from miles and miles away. And I heard,
yes.
Oh yeah, and you hear the howling, especially if you're alone out west and you're climbing. If you don't have any kind of self-defense tools, you got to go. When they start howling, it's hunting time, and you leave. But I was about, I think when I fell a second time, I was still about 1,500 to 1,700 feet up. So I couldn't just jump off, because I probably would be gone. So, but it's a flat surface that I landed on, because I remember I landed on my side. It was this side, because I did crack some ribs as well. So some broken bones.
Oh my God.
Well, it was crazy. So, but I lived through that, but I heard these tracks being made from opposite directions. And so what come to be were two coyotes that were trying to center me and to come closer and closer and approach me, but to trap me, because what was in front of me was the climb to go back up the mountain. Behind me was that 1,700 or 1,500 foot drop. So I only had to go sideways. There was one coyote one end and another coyote in the other end. One was the alpha male, The other one was just kind of a I don't know if you call it an assistant. I don't know what the order of
Yeah,
it.
but they do have like, different. Yeah, especially when you're talking like coyotes and wolves, they do have an order. That is correct. Hmm.
Yes. So, but at that time, I wasn't getting up. So my body was numb. I couldn't get up. So
Oh
I
my
tried to get up
goodness.
and wanted to escape. But then I heard the tracks get faster and faster and faster and faster. And then literally they're on me just bark. Like it's like they were barking, but that was them trying to snap and bite and snap and bite. And then something happened. It was just, I don't know. And it's really unbelievable to explain this part. But one of the coyotes ran off because he did attack, and I did try to fend it off by like throwing my fist. And if it even tried to bite my fist, it wouldn't crush my fist as much. So I probably would end up with a broken hand. But then and as that happened, as the one coyote ran away because I had scared it off enough, I don't know why I did this. This is not the smartest thing, but it's either still lay there because I thought I was paralyzed. So I thought I had like
Oh my gosh.
mobile movement from waist up. So my arms, I was like wiggling my fingers. I said, okay, I don't know why I'm doing this. And when they're, I don't know, with if you ever hear, dogs kind of like that's what wild animals would do. I proceeded
Right.
to take my hands and grabbed at its teeth. Well, I don't know why I did that, but I think
Okay.
I probably would have got bit pretty badly if I would have just laid there. So fight or flight, I said, look, I can't move the bottom part of my body. So I proceeded to grab at its jaw or at its teeth, and I tried to twist the jaw to try to dislocate the jaw because
That
I
was
didn't.
smart. That was actually a smart thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any of the scars to prove it, but I did bleed a little bit. Like a couple of my fingers bled because the teeth were really sharp. But I
Oh yeah.
didn't
My
feel it
gosh.
because when you're like half destroyed, you're not feeling yourself. You don't really feel anything. And so enough of that, I heard a whimper. I don't know if I dislocated the jaw or anything, but it was enough friction and enough of this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth while its mouth was open. It
Mhm.
couldn't claw at me or anything because somehow I don't know if I got feeling back again. I don't remember that part if I ever got up, but I was laying there, I'm sure, like sitting upright somehow and trying to just jerk the jaw loose. But eventually it ran away. And that was the last that I saw of the two coyotes, and the sun was already down, so it was pretty dark. So I literally had to rely on just turning on. And at the time, I had this tiny little phone. It was probably about four. It was like the iPhone 4 or something. The light was so tiny you could barely see like the fingernail of my pointer finger. That's how dark it was. You just couldn't see anything. But I had found my way to get down from over 1,000 feet up, and I did slide part of the way down. So I don't know if I hit another cactus, but whatever. I hit one cactus is enough in everybody's life. You get hit by one cactus, that should be it. But needless to say, I survived it. I don't remember a lot of the detail from that, but that was the adrenaline that kicked in. And when I've heard stories about fathers that would see like their kids crushed under a car, they would get like two people and lift the car and throw it. So I think
Yeah.
that's the adrenaline that kicked in that gave me the extra strength to get rid of the one alpha male coyote. So
Right. Because that's who you had to get to, because in that order, that's really clear. They say if you get the alpha, whether wolves or pack of dogs, there's always, like you said, an alpha. You do have to take on the alpha because the rest of them will back up. They will back down. That is true. That is so true. Yeah, and thanks for adding that, Quimby. I have made about everybody in here a moderator. So if y'all have a YouTube, you should be able to attach the link so people can actually follow you and subscribe. Also, if you get a chance, once you get a chance, Joseph, attach your because you have a club, the Cold Showers from Clubhouse, right? Which we're going to talk about in a second. So attach that in comments. So for people that are on Clubhouse, they can actually click on that and they can join it, because that would be awesome. And the fitness truck guy wanted to know where you were from originally again.
So my family's South Korean, and I was actually born in Augusta, Georgia. So Humana.
Okay.
in Richmond County, Augusta, Georgia.
So Lisa says, in any emergency, I am Team Joseph all the way for now. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a very resourceful, next level type individual. Because he was also, you were pronounced dead for like 2 hours. Tell me this. Tell me what happened there.
Okay, so definitely not a tough story to tell. This was February 16th, 2021, and it was probably a little after 4 p.m. So at the time, I was actually living in Charleston, South Carolina. This was my third straight month, and this was my third straight month of working 12 hours every day. So these were 12-hour days for 90 straight days, and I was helping with rolling out the vaccine and also doing these tests for COVID and taking care of the nurses with their mental health. It was a lot of different things. So the stress started building up, and I didn't know that. And the thing about your body is you don't know. Sometimes you ignore, if you ignore your body too long, then your body's going to just hit that emergency shutdown button and you're off and boom, no matter where you're at. And that's where the
Oh my gosh.
So it wasn't really immediately after. So I was thinking, okay, there was a testing site that had tents that were set up overnight, and a tornado had ripped through these 3 tents. It was reinforced with, I think, 100-pound weights on every corner, and every stick had 100-pound weights, and it still blew that in the tree. So I said, okay, I'll clean it up, get the salvage parts, and I'm gonna go to the dumpster. That's the only thing I said, and then everything turned black. But
oh my God.
But see, the scary part, and I don't know if this is you can really go into research, or if it's something that you can really get down to, like, okay, how can somebody still function, talk, make a call, walk, use an app while they're not consciously aware of anything happening? This was, and again, it gets pretty deep with this, but I had got on my one wheel. It's a one-wheel hoverboard that's on a wheel.
Right.
It was over 21 miles an hour, and I literally wrecked and landed face first, kind of like head first. But it wasn't just like a thud and boom. It was more of, I landed on the left side of my face, so here, and but then it turned out to be like a rag doll where I just kept rolling and rolling, and I made contact across my forehead and at my arm here. Barely.
Oh my gosh, I see it. Yeah.
Right there. So it results in all that. So I didn't know I was dead. I didn't know anything was going on. I didn't know I went to the hospital, didn't know what shots I was taking. I didn't know where, like, I didn't know I went to the hospital, didn't know that the EMTs asked me if I knew what my name was. And they assumed, because I answered everything that they wanted. And would you like to go to the hospital? I didn't know I said any of that. And so that was about 4 o'clock, and close to 11 o'clock p.m. that same night on the 16th, everything reappeared. The image, the picture, but I was standing right in front of the mirror of the hotel room I was staying at. And I see like all the craziness on my face, and I looked at my arm, and I didn't really bite into anything, but I didn't remember eating anything. And mind you, to get back to the hotel I was staying at, I had to use my room key to get into the hotel because of COVID and for safety reasons. And then I had to backtrack with all that, because I had to ask people that I called, like, what was the conversation about? And it was really strange to them. And I checked with the hotel staff. Did I talk to you guys? It's like, yeah, you held a 5-minute conversation. I said, okay, well, was it a normal conversation? And they said, yeah, you spoke about blah, 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 blah. And I don't even remember what they said. It was just really crazy. And so I think it was a couple weeks later, because I ended up leaving that job because the company I was working with, they didn't handle the concussion protocol. So it was a traumatic brain injury. It was a minor concussion and multiple fractures to my skull, my face, my nose, and my pinky, and some scratches on my legs. So fortunately, my chest was none of that was affected. But when I received my first I didn't know that medical bills come in separate envelopes, and you get multiple statements. And so I got my first one for the ambulance. I said, okay. Then I called the hospital. I said, how many bills will I get? And he said, Mr. Kim, we wanted to apologize. We have to make an adjustment to your bill because we had to resuscitate you. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
At the time I didn't think, what was resuscitation? I'm like, okay, it's probably like the actual drug you get at the store. Resuscitation is got these symptoms and that. Or okay, no, they said no, we actually had to, and she had to explain like 1, 2, 3, clear, and so they had done it for 2 hours because I wouldn't come back to life. I was actually gone, and I believe, and again, it's really strange because I don't know if I should go far into this, but it was pretty grim where I started seeing this light. That's all I could see. It was just kind of like a light in the corner that just was flashing. And it's like, okay, walk towards it. But in my mind, I was walking, but I didn't know that I got discharged from the hospital. I didn't know I was able to issue an Uber. I asked people, like, did you use my phone for me? No, you wouldn't let go of your phone. None of this. And it seemed like it was an out of body crazy experience. But when they told me I got resuscitated, then that's when the question started coming. But then about a few weeks, I think it was like a week after that, Tiger Woods gets into a similar accident. So he gets into a car accident where same thing happens. He was just a normal day. He didn't know he left his house. 1, 2, he didn't know he was driving. And then he went over into like a ditch and broke his leg. And he could have died from the accident because he was going, I think, 70 miles. No, he was going 40 miles an hour in a 35 zone, 40, 45 miles an hour, still fast. But when he came back to reality in the senses, he thought he was in Florida, but the accident happened in Los Angeles, California. So this unique phenomena that happened is so unexplained. I don't know. I've been asking other people that I had spoken to, even the nurses who saved my life from the site where I actually had the accident. They had walls that covered the tents, and so they didn't see me, but they heard a very violent crash and a thud and a skirt, skirt, skirt. So with all these things, it's still foggy because they didn't see what happened and they couldn't explain my situation. They said it's a rare case of what happened. We don't know what happened. So, but with that said, 2 hours, ended up coming back to life. And yeah, I don't know, really, again, it's still black to me, and a black screen for those 7 hours. I have no idea.
Yeah, because it was a traumatic episode. But you said something interesting earlier. You were saying you don't know how you were able to operate machinery, your phone, and all that. You know, I read this really interesting book, How to Un-F Yourself. I'll just put it that way. But he talks about how we live in the subconscious. So that is, so what you were talking about makes sense. That's how we evolve and we move around, is in our subconscious, which is why it's so important to make sure that you surround yourself with positivity, and those are the thoughts that you plant in your head, because we do that. And that's why anyone, and I'm sure everybody in the audience can relate to this, you've driven somewhere and have no idea how you got there. So when you were talking about it, I totally understood what you were saying, because you were just operating off of your subconscious at that point. And then, yeah, and you're so right about listening to the body. Oh my gosh, that's like one of the most important things that you have to do. So you didn't know they had resuscitated you, and oh my gosh, for like 2 hours. You were young. I could see why they kept going, because oh my gosh. So Joseph has placed something up here. So if you're on Clubhouse, he has the cold showers channel, which we're going to talk about that. He has such an interesting life. I guess this could have been a really long YouTube, but I do want him to talk about the premise of cold showers, because it is so important. It's important for you mentally, physically. It's just got so many things going. It's a game changer. So definitely, if you're in Clubhouse, click that link and make sure that you're joining that. He does do that Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Obviously, if you're on Central, it's going to be 9 a.m. For you. But please talk to us about cold showers. And I know you've been doing it for a while, but please tell us why it's so important. And I'm definitely in. You definitely sold me on it. So, talk to them about cold showers and the importance of it.
So that cold showers have been something that I've been doing for a couple of years, and this is something I don't miss a day doing. Actually, before this wonderful conversation, I got into a cold shower, so I went actually from the warm to the cold. So the room actually was started by a young lady named Vanessa, and Vanessa actually we co-founded the room, the club itself, because the club came after the room because we had to wait to get approved. That's a clubhouse thing, but Vanessa wanted to start a space where she can get people together with her meditation and breath work to get and use cold showers as something that could be interactive, it could be live. And I decided, and I looked through and I actually searched for any clubs that said cold showers, but then I saw on my timeline cold showers. I said, oh, I had no questions. I entered in the room, and I think there were maybe 6 people in the room. And Vanessa was running the room by herself. She had the shower running. I said, okay, this is really cool. This is, I mean, it's a little different, it's a little strange, but I said, okay, let me just sit there. But I did see Vanessa in other rooms, and there were really good rooms about meditation, getting your mind right, and just great growth type of rooms. And so the whole premise of the room of cold showers is to educate and introduce, I consider it as the most underutilized tool in your biohacking tool belt. It's inexpensive. Cold water, actually, I think if you just pay for water, it's just for the cost of water. And if you pay a flat rate for water, you don't have to pay for anything with water except just the water itself. So, but the benefits have been tremendous because my journey started with cryotherapy treatments, which is just straight up cold air. That's actually a little bit more intense than cold showers because you just have beads of water hitting you. But I said, wait a minute, there's got to be an alternative that anybody can do. It's just a matter of getting the right education, having a trusted group of accountability partners to keep you going, and really just that community. And I think Clubhouse is a great place for you to have a club like this. And so we've each of us have had moments where we did our rooms live, and this is actually a cold shower running. So if you ever saw it on Instagram Live, it would be from torso up of you in the shower talking. And so we said, can we replicate this? And
Clubhouse is ideal for this, actually, so nobody has to see it and just hear it.
Yeah, so just let your mind wander wherever you want it to go. So, but I continued doing it because I started seeing the results of what it could do, but I knew it was a process. So we explained about how it helps increase your dopamine, which decreases the depression, and how 2020 was that year where you could have learned about cold showers, and that could have changed everything leading up to this year. But you can still start at any time. And so our room is kind of like a mini masterclass where we have instructors of the Iceman, Wim Hof. He's actually one of the leading forefront people who reintroduced to the human race the wonderful tool of cold showers. And so his daughter, Laura Hof, is actually on Clubhouse. You just got to go find her. So,
really? Okay.
Absolutely. The kindest person you could talk to and meet. And she doesn't have the audience that Wim Hof has, which is great. A tip is when you see a witness, an influencer on the rise, you want to be able to connect with them early because they'll remember you, and they don't become so big. It's like, I checked my DM like 3 years later, and oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's like, oh, I just asked you. Oh gosh, I should ask you more complicated question. But the room is there for everybody to join, so that it's for the ones who are very intrigued and curious about an alternative method to hacking your brain into being more creative, increasing your sexual drive if that's something that you and your spouse are looking to do, or if you want to transmutate that into creative energy, or if you want it to go as simple as, hey, I need to burn fat. I have this crazy stubborn white fat in my body that need to burn. Well, cold showers can activate the white fat and turn it into brown fat. The brown fat is actually the incinerator for your body, which is the pilot light to kick into place, because when your body hits one extreme, then the heater comes on when it's cold water. When it's hot water, your body's going to find ways to cool you down. That's why you sweat after a shower, because your body temperature rose up too quickly. So you want to think of the opposite when you do either one. But yeah, Terry Lynn's been a big part of this. We've had actually quite a few from the group that you and I met in, or the room we met in, who actually continuously have done it and have shared tremendous testimonies. And I don't know, it was a room we thought we weren't going to have it for long, but because more and more people were listening and hearing about it, and it caught the attention of several pro athletes, we said, you know what? Let's keep it running. Let's make this an everyday thing. You never know whose life are changing with this. So it's a great room.
Yes, Lisa. You should have heard Lisa earlier. Yes, Lisa, definitely. Yeah, that's the thing that sold me on the cold showers. It is a great room, by the way. There is a gentleman, and you can tell me exactly his name because I don't know why I don't remember, but I should. But there is a gentleman he was in the Iraq War, and basically he had wounds, right? Go ahead and tell his story a little bit more because I thought this was really interesting.
Yeah, he actually blew my mind. He had let's see, his name is Kadara, 20 years. He's been in a really deep immersion, cold immersion, everything he could find because he used to live in Japan. But when he fought in the wars, he actually got blown up twice, not once, but twice. And for him to survive from those wounds, the cold showers have helped him recover from he pretty much had 2 NDEs as well, near-death experiences, because he got blown up twice and the wounds were pretty severe. I don't think he's gone into full detail as to what the wounds were, but they were pretty traumatic on his end. But he does share that, and I love when he shares it consistently because it's been his story is tremendous. But yeah, Kadara has quite the story, and cold showers have helped him. It's helped me heal my fractures within a week. So a lot of benefit to it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, guys. It's a lot. It's the health benefits are immense. Obviously, and Rhonda, that was funny. I love that person. That Rhonda's like the best. And she's on Clubhouse now, which is awesome. But yeah, the benefits, they just can't be, when I was thinking about all the benefits and this is what you'll learn when you come to the cold shower rooms, is all the benefits, the reasons why to do it. And that's what sold me. And it wasn't even like, I think I was sold before I even heard the weight thing. It was more so about the healing properties of it. And as you start taking these cold showers and you get acclimated to the actual temperature, ultimately you'll start taking the cold baths with ice, correct? Because that's going to be even more beneficial. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the ice baths, it's definitely an upgrade from the showers because depending on where you're located, your water may not get cold enough, especially if you live in California or warmer tropical climates like Brazil or Costa Rica. So the ice baths are more guaranteed that you're going to get the cold water, and put a thermometer in there, and you should definitely, it's something you want to build up to. But if you're not comfortable doing the cold showers, then you could actually take a bowl of ice water and just dip your hands, not your fingers, but your whole hands in there. Because the most important thing about taking cold showers is actually to learn how to breathe. And I learned to breathe incorrectly, even when I started the cold showers. Could have caused me to hyperventilate. But proper breathing, you can build the foundation with just a bowl of ice water. Then you can graduate to cold showers. Then you can do the ice baths.
Yeah, I love the way you said that because I think I just started with the cold shower, but I did it incorrectly. So, I went to the room and I said, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So, I just started off. Now, the first time I did it, I felt like, oh, it's okay. But then you remember I told you I took one and I was like shampooing my hair and I about lost it. I was like, I was going to die today. And so, but then I realized, and the benefits of coming to this room is the fact that you do learn the proper ways, because there is a process to it. And I highly recommend you follow that process, because the way I was doing it was totally incorrect, by the way. So I love the fact he was talking about the bowl with the ice water, but also too, and this is discussed when you come in there. Like he says, when you come to the room, Vanessa is usually taking a shower and they time her. Because I think she is on she's on the Pacific Coast, correct? So it's like 7 a.m. for her.
Yes,
Right. Because I
no.
know for you, you've already taken your shower, just like me. I'm just coming to the room to join and support. So, but anyway, she's taking her shower. But the tips I love that she gives is like when you first go in, you don't have to have the water cold right then. You can have it like, warm to lukewarm. Take your shower and then build it up, then start, lowering the temperature. So that's one thing she talks about, which I really loved. So yeah, I highly recommend y'all join. Again, it's Monday through Friday. If you're on specific time, it is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is 10 a.m. And then I know it's on Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is it on Sunday? Because I'm not sure about Sunday. I'm sorry. So
Seven
it's
days
also
a
on
week.
Sunday.
Yes.
7 days a week. So it's even on Sunday. And like I said, this is a great group because you'll really hear some really interesting stories about why people started taking the cold showers and the results. So, like I said, it's a mental thing, definitely. I totally you just feel so much better once you start this process. It's going to help you physically, it's going to help you heal. If you have injuries, it's going to help you heal. Like Joseph said, it's going to help you lose weight. The other My husband, yeah, he really is bad about that. So I might have to work with him on that one. But anyway, so it's going to help you lose weight. And then there was one other thing I wanted to bring up about it that I thought was really, oh my gosh, what was it? Because it was real important. So I said lose weight. I hate when I do that. It was something really that I thought was so interesting about it. But anyway, if it comes to my mind, I'll mention it. But it's just something really that people should really get into. I highly recommend it. And like I said, you can join an online clubhouse. Those are the times. And real quickly, Joseph, I also know that you're going to start a. I love when people say this. I'm sorry. You can't get enough of that one, right? Lose weight, I am in. I love it. Oh, okay. I know what I was going to say. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot it. And ladies, if you want that nice skin and you want that nice hair, that is the route. Trust and believe. It really makes a difference in your skin and your hair. I can't believe I about forgot that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, definitely. But you were going to start a clothing. Excuse me. Can I talk today? No. Clothing brand. Talk to me about that.
So I got the idea because I go to festivals a lot. I really enjoy supporting local artists. And it's just some of the, I don't know, I think it's like the snazziest, coolest t-shirts in the world that you see. And you're like, artisan tees. Okay, yeah, I want one that has a crazy mixtape that says, I love you more than my music. Or it's just like, I like that because it's the expression, but it's also paying tribute to some old, like oldies but goldies type of thing. And so I always wanted to start a line where I wanted to cater to those who might have that, short arm, short leg syndrome. So with jeans, to be able to actually go into, instead of a 30-inch or 30-inch inseam, can we start at like 24-inch? Because some of us may not have very long legs. I have a 28-inch inseam, and I never find pants like that. And the shirts, I'm like, okay, yeah, that shirt's nice, but can we like do I don't know, maybe a throwback to Super Mario, except I don't know, put my face on it or something like that. So I just thought people are wearing like t-shirts, and more that because the COVID's starting to hopefully clear up soon. People are out, and so I think what you wear, you're pretty much a walking billboard, or one wheel in my.
I agree.
Because people will look at it like, I like your one wheel, cool, I have one of those, but where'd you get your shirt from? And so it was a nice little segue to a nice conversation. So
yeah, and that's so smart, and you're so right. I think you should definitely be a billboard of yourself. So I am looking forward to it. Please follow Joseph. Like I said before, some of y'all may have missed this comment that I said, because I said this kind of in the beginning. I actually met Joseph on Clubhouse. He is so motivational, so polite, so intelligent. His Instagram, when you go to his Instagram, it's JK the brand. You see it scrolling. He has great photos, but you do need to read the captions. They're really great captions. that he has going on. He's telling little stories on all of them. So definitely check out his Instagram. He is going to probably be getting into the YouTube soon, and I'm looking forward to it because I think he definitely should be on YouTube. I totally agree. So, and of course, you can find him on Clubhouse. So that's the neat thing about that. So, did you have anything that you want to tell people, like any events you want to let them know about before we close, Joseph?
Well, I know that there will be some. So what we do, we actually do these shows where we call them like TED type of talks. And so
Yes.
part of my journey as a content creator, I actually started a community where we had curated. It's kind of like if you think of life coaching and also financial coaching or health coaching, it's us taking somebody where they're at. It's like going to the mall and finding the map and the guide that says you are here. And so we're finding people who can't find that. And so we help them find that. And sometimes I don't know, it's like you have the sizzle before you reveal the bacon that you're frying, or if for my vegans.
Oh, the sizzle before the bacon that you're frying. That's pretty good. I love that.
Yeah. So prior to all that, you want to be able to bridge a gap of trust and comfortability, if that's a word. But if you want to have people comfortable about you and that you're not trying to sell, it's more of like people over profit instead of the opposite. We do these what they call TED type of talks called success talks, and they're being held. I believe now we'll have one coming up. Let's see, it is the 18th. I believe we're going to have one next in the first Monday. It's either the first or second Monday in May. And then I'm actually going to do a live pretty soon where I'll do an introduction to my website, because I've been working on that, getting the videos together, doing a little party and doing some giveaways. So I'll announce the date there in my stories and put a post out there. I am supposed to be also going live with Carla on the Unequal Match. We're supposed to go live.
That's right. Yeah.
So stay tuned. We're going to have a conversation there, and I'm supposed to be getting on a couple more podcasts to talk about the NDEs, because I think the cool thing about Clubhouse is that you do find people that are on similar trajectories as you are. May not be at the same destinations, but same trajectories, and it's great when you guys can get together and have a conversation like this to connect the dots, to establish a relationship, and to see where it goes from there. It's like building a strong friendship, and it's definitely been a pleasure to share, and it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun for a Sunday night. Had a blast. Great time.
You're like, what? For a Sunday night? I love it. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Carla's Instagram live too, because the cool thing about Instagram lives, that it's like a different audience, because some people just don't come to YouTube at all. They're like on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram. That's it. So it should be a really great time up there. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, keep us posted. And I'll be hearing from you tomorrow anyway, because you'll be in some of the other groups that we're in. I want to thank everyone that came out. We really appreciate you so much. You're phenomenal people. I hope y'all have a fantastic night. Thank you for joining Joseph and I. And Joseph, thank you again. Very honored that you came on as a guest. I appreciate that. So everyone have a great night. Bye, everyone.
Nice. Good night.